Hi, welcome. If you're watching this video, this is a new video that is hoping to show players how to go about playing Clash Royale from as a free-to-play player, starting from level 1. This first video is just an introduction to the game. This starts off right at the beginning, after you've started the game and created an account. So right now in the beginning you can see that I'm placing down units pretty much really easily. The opponent is barely putting down any troops. But this is just a training match. One of the main points of Clash Royale is, as you saw right there, you are trying to push across a river. There's two castles on each side. You want to take down one, two, or all of them. The crown tower, which is the one in the back, if that goes down, then you get all the towers. So right now we're just going to do training matches. The opponents are not going to be tough because they're just computers and not real opponents. Right now you see the AI put down uh, a goblin. You can mostly ignore small goblin pushes, especially at these lower levels. They're not going to do too much, but if they're in front of a tank, then that'll be a problem. You can see how on the right side, I just have a bunch of units stacked together. Uh, in general, you just, at least in the beginning levels, since there's not too many spells or anything, you just want to have a push where you have a pretty strong tank in front, like the giant or sometimes the knight, and then have a couple damage dealing units in the back. So what I just did was open a chest. Opening a chest uh, is the way that you're gonna be able to get cards to upgrade your units. Upgrading units is necessary in this game. You'll see later on probably that we'll reach a level that we can actually surpass and beat other players until we have better cards. Even if you have the best strategy, it'll be very difficult to beat people with overall like higher levels and higher level cards because they have more HP, deal more damage, and their actual towers have more health as well. But we'll get into that later. So as you see here, I'm putting down like a fairly heavy damage dealing unit in the back. You can basically ignore skeletons. You can see the AI putting it there. They're never going to reach your tower unless there is a tank in front. So you can basically just ignore that. The place where I put this giant is a really bad place because the giant really should be in front of all of your damage dealing units. Like the musketeer deals a very high amount of damage, but is also very weak in health. So you'd want to place that behind your giant, or else you won't be able to actually push through. So we're just going to open more chests and continue on. So the fireball is a pretty good spell for if there is a tank in front and the opponent is overly committing to a push. That means they have one tank and a bunch of units behind it, and they're all fairly weak. Like right now, if I had a giant in front of this and I was trying to defend against it, then I would just throw a fireball at the well, I'll try to hit as many units as possible, but I would try to fireball the musketeer and the archer. One thing you're gonna learn is also getting an elixir advantage. So musketeer costs 4, archers costs 3. If you kill them all with one fireball, you just gain 3 elixirs above your opponent. You can also see that before on the left side, the knight came in, and with a tank in front, the skeletons really did a lot of damage to my tower as well. Okay, so as you can see, there are quite a bit of units on in this training level. Let's just see what units we do get. Additionally, gaining an elixir advantage is one of the main points, and I'll go over that a little bit later as well. Okay, so let's just take a look through, upgrade some units. Oh, I should have opened that chest as well. So let's say someone put down a musketeer. Even if you fireballed that musketeer, you would be even because they just placed a 4-cost unit and then you're killing a 4-cost with a 4-cost card. However, it would be much more advantageous if, you know, they were grouped up. Like if I fireballed them now, then I would have get an archer and a musketeer, maybe even the bomber. That's 4 elixir for for 10 elixir, which is a very great deal, or a very good deal. As you can see here, I'm in the training matches, I'm really just going for the 3 crown. I can ignore what the opponent is trying to do, because they're not really doing too much. But the overall thing that you want to do right at the beginning is have a tank in front and let your damage dealing units in the back, like the archers or the musketeer, do help you push down the tower. So I've leveled up. Leveling up gives you better castles health, better castle damage. So overall it's a good idea to level up, but it's going to be hard to do that if you win too much at the beginning, because you're going to reach a point where you're overextending your level versus the actual capacity. So you can see that I drew a witch down in the back. The reason I do that is to allow for the witch to actually have more time to generate those skeletons. Skeletons are great, but a small amount of them is not going to do enough damage at all. So again, I have the knight tanking in the front, the witch is spawning those skeletons. Look at the back, because they put the goblins there, they actually killed one of my archers. So that's why you have to be worried about once your units cross the river, your opponent could throw units behind it. Later on you'll get like maybe a Valkyrie or something, and that would basically destroy your entire push. So after you did 6 training matches, then the game is going to start asking you for your name. You can enter that in, unlock a couple more chests, and then upgrade your units if you can. If not, then just finish up these training battles. So I'm just going to open this up and see if I get any more units. Okay. Alright, so this is the last training match. Overall, in the beginning, you should have a fairly simple time going through these training matches. Depending on the deck you get, the composition of your units could change, but your strategy should remain mostly the same. So the reason I'm focusing on this side is because I really want to take down this giant. I don't want him to have too much time attacking my tower. Putting the witch behind a giant is great because although skeletons are weak in health, they do deal a lot of damage per second, especially if you get a lot of them. So if you have enough built up in front of a giant, then you can deal quite a bit of damage. So you can see here, I'm probably gonna get another 3 crown. That fireball was just for the heck of it. And that's it for the beginning, for the starting video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And I'll continue on and show you more videos of starting from level 1 in Clash Royale, all the way up to whatever level I get to. And this is, well, I'm hoping for this to be a pretty good resource for free-to-play players, because I will not be spending gems here as